With the Switch on its way, it only makes sense that Nintendo wouldn't be loading their systems that are on their way out with new content. So for me, this year ended up being more about time to catch up on some great games that I missed out on. I'm realizing that I'm getting to an age where I don't have as much time to pour into games like I used to as a kid, but luckily that also comes with being smarter and knowing which games that I'll actually like, so I don't really buy bad games and games that I wouldn't like. The only problem with that is I might buy a game and then have to sit on it for a couple months before I can actually play it, because I'm an adult and time is a value. And I have work. I'm busy. The case for Portal 2 is that I actually had it for a couple years before I actually got to play it. I bought Portal 2 at least 3 years ago during a Steam summer sale, despite not having a computer that was actually capable of playing it at the time. I eventually got a new computer, actually in the beginning of this year, and once I graduated, I finally had time to play it. I had purposefully stayed as spoiler-free as I could, so the game was an entire treat. The writing, design, the puzzles, the story, all of it was exactly as great as I expected it to be. Wheatley was a great character, with every second of screen time being a treat. GLaDOS is one of my favorite villains of all time, and not only seeing her again, but accidentally resurrecting her back to life, and then getting to spend time with her and learn more about her, is one of the best ways to reintroduce an antagonist that I've ever seen. I love games that make me feel smart, and the satisfaction that solving every puzzle gives you is so fulfilling. Everything about this game is exceptional and has a perfect sense of tone. Everywhere you look, it's designed perfectly and attentively. I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, and it's really no news to anyone at this point, but it's clear that they crafted this game to be the best and most well-made game that it could be, and to make sure that it all fits, and that the game knows exactly what it's doing. It's not every day that you come across a game that has so much confidence pouring out of it. Games that know exactly what they're doing, what they're going for, and what their goal in mind is. And to me, that clear sense of polish is what makes a great game. Bayonetta and Monster Hunter Generations are key examples of a game that has a clear vision. Bayonetta's vision is a game where you control the strongest, fiercest, and coolest person in like the world, or whatever realm or whatever Bayonetta is supposed to be taking place in. You're the best. You're cool. You're freaking Bayonetta's good! Complete with an interesting backstory and her own arsenal of interesting and complicated weapons at her disposal, you are feared as Bayonetta. And if you aren't, you make them fear you. You have guns on your shoes. It's not hard. As you learn to master combos and weapons and strategies and all of the freaking moves that Bayonetta can do, you only feel stronger taking on bigger and bigger foes. This game was pretty much the polar opposite of the typical kind of games that I play, which is why it was such a treat. It was so much fun to play a game that was so over the top in every single aspect. The enemy designs, the enormous boss battles, and every action of Bayonetta herself. There's no holding back in this game from start to finish, and it's the kind of game you want to play immediately after finishing it. Monster Hunter Generations has a similar approach in making you feel like the raddest dude in the universe, but you have to earn it. Monster Hunter Generations starts you out with nothing but some underwear and a sword. There's sort of a grinding element to Monster Hunter where you start out with pretty much nothing, and as you kill smaller things, you're able to take on bigger things with the equipment that you took from the smaller things, and then eventually you become bigger and bigger and badder, and then all of a sudden you're in way over your head fighting a Rathalos, which is a flying, fire-breathing dragon that can poison you with its huge tail, and it'll knock you out of the sky, and you'll be dead, and it's really hard. But as you learn every monster's attack patterns and movements, learning how they behave when they're threatened or enraged, you feel strong and empowered. Like, you become a monster hunter. Once you can read these monsters' movements, they're no match for you. Like, you got this. I used to think that the name of the series was kind of silly and like on the nose, but after playing it, it only reassures me that, yes, in this game, you hunt monsters. Real, crazy, unfathomably imaginative monsters. It's amazing the sense of growth you can get from this game when you really sink your time into it. And it feels amazing. The impact of every single hit in this game feels so incredibly good. Something as simple as performing a basic action in a game can be a full influence on why I love it. And for a game like Downwell, well, there are really only two controls, down and shoot, and it became the exact reason why I fell in love with it. In Downwell, you descend down a well and jump on and shoot monsters with your gun boots as you fall. The real fun and skill of the game comes from racking up combos, defeating enemies one after another without hitting the ground. You gotta love simple addictive gameplay that feels great and channel some of the sweet, classic Flash game fun. You can upgrade your equipment in small ways like giving yourself more ammo or change weapons as you descend. You can also heal up, sometimes at the cost of your favorite weapon. There are a lot of small decisions like this that really push the replayability and make the game surprisingly deep. Your rewards for playing are unlocking new styles, which are small variations on how you control and how the game plays out, sacrificing currency for more options to change your weapons, or maybe you just want to float a little more as you fall. Once you unlock all the styles, you get to unlock different palettes for the game. It's a small and cute, fun unlock system that I personally love. I got this game in January, and I've been playing it all year. I had to put it on this list considering it's the longest I've been playing a mobile game, and I expect to be playing it a lot more.
And now it's time to hear the number one game, but is it what could it be?
Is it Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown for the Game Boy Color?
Well, yes, Sean, it is Fairy Tale Freakdown for the Game Boy Color.
By far, the most anticipated game of the year for me was Pokemon Sun and Moon. Moon for me, personally. Andrew and I worked our tails off, staying as spoiler-free as we could for this game, and I can't believe how well it paid off. I can't stress how much I appreciate the fact that Game Freak could have handed us the same game they've been giving us for 20 years, and instead, they took every opportunity they could to surpass my expectations and surprise me with a depth in a game that I've been playing for years, and where I didn't really expect to find any, honestly. This game has a compelling story, which is a real first as far as my opinion is concerned. Things like befriending Hal and watching Lily grow make this game incredibly special to me. The game has a really good sense of humor, and I found myself laughing out loud pretty frequently. There are so many imaginative designs, with creatures taking on wonderful and interesting types and abilities, making the world of Alola feel fresh. Game Freak continues to ride that line of crazy and cool to so bizarre it's great. And the Pokemon series feels so much more real and tangible than ever. Seeing Pokemon in the overworld with your fully sized trainer and utilizing helper Pokemon is such a small change to the previous ways they would handle Pokemon. And it's so amazing how the entire world flows so much better together. There's a real connection between people and Pokemon in this game, and I found myself caring for my Pokemon deeper than I had in previous games. I cared for my Pokemon after most battles in Pokemon Refresh, just to cure their paralysis or something. And that short moment of playing with my Pokemon and making it smile, it made it a little bit more real for me. And the Pokédex is really fun to fill out, which is new. It's really flashy and exciting to see how you register something in the dex. It feels great to fill, and it's satisfying to see that percent grow. Seeing my Popplio evolve was a real ride since I had no clue what it would turn out to be. Now I've beaten the Elite Four with my fully evolved and beautiful Primarina, and the wait for this game was well worth it. I haven't even delved into the metagame scene or even most of the aftergame stuff yet, but I'm pretty excited to. I love Alola, and I can't wait to spend more time there, and trade and battle with my friends some more. With the Switch around the corner, I'm concerned that Nintendo isn't really trying to play the innovation game as much as they did with, say, the Wii. Everything we know about the Switch, including the small lineup that we know of, is pretty safe. 3D Mario, Mario Kart, Skyrim, Splatoon, they're all surefire successes. I kinda miss the days of weird motion controls and seeing what sticks, funny touchscreen controls just for a gimmick. Those kind of things make games special and weird and interesting. And while these fears aren't exactly legitimate, it's still really nice to know that inspiration is pouring out of developers everywhere. Bayonetta 2 was a passion project that Team Platinum wanted to make so desperately that they accepted putting the game on a failing system. And I would say that Pokemon is the most creative and boundary-pushing in the series' long line of games. I'm not saying that Nintendo doesn't plan on innovating with the Switch, but it's nice to see other developers taking pages from Nintendo's book and making things feel as great as they do in their work. It's clear and exciting to see the inspiring, creative, and passionate work these companies are making. It gives me hope and makes me excited for games to come. I can't wait to see what games the next year has in store for me, and I'm sure it's going to be a great ride.
Thanks for watching. Time well spent.
Watching good entertainment.
We appreciate you dropping by.
You can like, comment, and subscribe.
And if that's not enough, well, I got one better.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.